Hello, and this is my video on how to construct a dihybrid cross. To construct a dihybrid cross, you should first understand what the prompt is asking you. So for example, I have a prompt right here. It says, a heterozygous short plant with blue pods is crossed with a heterozygous tall plant with white pods. What are the chances of getting a short and blue offspring? Once you understand what the prompt is asking you, you should first establish the dominants and the recessives of the phenotypes. So for example, since the tall plant is the dominant one, it would be the capital T, and since the short plant is the recessive one, it would be the lowercase t. And since the blue pods is the dominant one, for example, you could use capital G, and since the white pods is the recessive one, you would use lowercase g. So this would be tall, this would be white, this would be short, this would be blue, and this would be white. So now, after you understand what the dominants and the recessives are, you need to consider the parent genotypes. So by considering the parent genotypes, you can successfully label out your dihybrid cross in order to get the correct offsprings. So for example, the first sentence says a heterozygous short plant with blue pods is, so you would write lowercase t's because it's a short plant, and since it's blue pods and the dominant one, you would write a capital G and lowercase g. Next, it says is crossed with a heterozygous tall plant with white pods. So that means that the T has to be capital since it's dominant. So it would be capital T, lowercase t, and then 2 lowercase g, since the white pods is the recessive one. Now once you consider the parent genotypes, you can begin to draw out and fill out your dihybrid cross. And what you do is, this basically helps you draw out the potential parent gametes. So from here, what you do now is you can fill it into a dihybrid cross by foiling it, which is similar to math. You would foil it with lowercase t to capital G, lowercase t to lowercase g. Move on to the next t, foil it to the capital G, and then go back to the lowercase g. So essentially you would be doing this. You would be the lowercase t to the capital G, and the lowercase t to the lowercase g. And then you move on to the next t, and you go the lowercase t to the capital G, and the lowercase t to the lowercase g. And this is basically how you fill out your dihybrid cross. So let's begin. So since the first parent is going to be on the top, you would begin foiling it. So the first one would be lowercase t to capital G. So T G. And then next one would be lowercase t and lowercase g. So boom, boom. Next one would be lowercase t, capital G. And next one will be lowercase t, lowercase g. And that's the first column. And then move on to the rows, which would be the second parents. You would do the exact same thing. You would foil it as such. So you would begin. So capital G, lowercase g, capital T, lowercase g, lowercase t, lowercase g, lowercase t, lowercase g. Once you have that, you can begin filling in the dihybrid cross. And all you're doing here is just combining the phenotypes. So for the first square, you would write capital T, lowercase t, G, G. Move on to the next one. It is very important that you do this correctly, because if you do it wrong, even one, you would mess with the chances of getting a specific type of plant. So for example, in our question, we're trying to identify the chances of getting a short and blue offspring. So it is very important that we fill out the hybrid cross correctly. It's a G. Uppercase T, lowercase t, lowercase g, lowercase g, uppercase T, lowercase t, lowercase g, lowercase g, lowercase t, lowercase t, lowercase g, lowercase g, lowercase t, lowercase t, lowercase g, lowercase g, uppercase T, lowercase t, uppercase g, lowercase g, uppercase T, lowercase t, uppercase g, lowercase g, lowercase t, lowercase t, uppercase g, lowercase g, and so on. And right now I should be able to identify how to fill in the hybrid cross. From there you're just combining it. So let's get this over with. And once you successfully fill out the dihybrid cross, after it's all filled out, you should now consider the potential phenotypes amongst all the offsprings, like all of them. So you want to start with, for example, tall and the dominant colors, which is blue. And you'll simply count it up. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and here's 4. There are 4 for the tall and blue ones. You move on to the tall and white ones with the recessive color. So tall / white. And simply we would count it up again. So here is 1, here is 2, here is 3, here is 4. So there be 4. And then move on to the short. Short and the dominant color, which is blue. And it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So there'd be 4 as well. For the last possibility, you have the short and the white, which is both the recessive ones. Now obviously there's only 4 left, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you have 4. And now that you have all your possibilities of the phenotypes labeled out, you can now answer your question. And the question was, what are the chances of getting a short and blue offspring? Now, first you should understand that since all of them are 4, it would essentially be a 4 to 4 to 4 to 4 ratio. Or you could write 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. Whatever works. And to finally answer the question, which was what are the chances of getting a short and blue offspring, so it would be the short and blue one under here, it would be 4 or 1, and the chances of it in a percentage would be 25% since all of them are equal to each other. So chances of it is 25%. Thank you.